Right now, there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. Each one is built in the site it used to be, it'd take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague, Al Bielek, has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the Magneto-Leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train and floats off with a single rail at a 3/4 of an inch off the rail, and is what you'd call high tech.
Revelation 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? First, I want to say, Kol Halah, all glory, honor, and praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the whole elect out there. So as we saw in the previous clip, they're making bunkers and thinking that's going to be able to save them from the wrath of Yahawashi when he returns. These heathens, all the heathen rulers, the top rulers, the heathens that are in prison, and even 2/3 of our own people, they're going to try to hide from the wrath of Yahawashi when he returns. But they won't be able to, because Yahawashi is going to send those the hunters. He's going to send the elect to hunt them out of the rocks and out of the dens and out of the caves that they're hiding in. This is Jeremiah 16, verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. So right now, the hopeful elect, the 144,000 prophets, which are men, they are fishing for the elect right now. They're fishermen. They're fishing for the elect of Israel and bringing them to the shoot of Yahweh Shem Shai. But soon, when Yahawashi returns and, beams up all the elect, beams up the 144,000 with the rest of the 1/3, Yahweh Shem Shai is going to send the 144,000 as hunters in their new immortal bodies to go after the heathen that are hiding in the caves and the rocks and in their bunkers. So that's going to happen when Yahawashi returns and, redeems his people, redeems the elect of Israel. This is Jeremiah 30, starting at verse 5. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail in all faces are turned into paleness. So this is talking about the day of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. It's talking about Jacob's trouble and how bad it's going to be. That all the men are going to be afraid. Even the elect are going to be afraid, but Yahweh Bashem El Shai is going to give them the spirit of strength to overcome that fear. But if you're not the elect, you're through basically, because you don't have that tawah, that protection from Yahweh Bashem El Shai. So it's going to be so bad that every man is going to be bent over, like a woman giving birth, while their face is pale. Going to verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So the elect of Israel, the Most High's chosen people, Yahweh Bashem El Shai's chosen people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the Israelites scattered abroad that may look like the heathen nations on the outside, but their seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The elect of those people are going to be saved during this horrible time called Jacob's trouble, because it's to purify the remnant while everyone else will die, basically, and not make it. Amos 5, verse 18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yahweh is darkness and not light. And so we have many people, Christians specifically, that think there's going to be a rapture before they have to go through anything on the earth. They think they're going to be saved from the trials and tribulations and the sufferings. They think they're just there's going to be a secret rapture and get raptured up and not have to go through any adversity, when the scriptures completely go against that. You can read Zechariah 13, verse 8 through 9, and it tells you you're going to have to go through that fire. 2/3 of the Israelites won't make it, but the 1/3 will go through the fire, will go through Jacob's trouble, and be purified and be made better and endure to the end. And even Yahweh Shai says it, that you have to endure to the end. So, Christians be bugged out thinking they're not going to have to go through any adversity before the Messiah returns. And it also says in Acts that through great tribulation we shall inherit the kingdom. And actually, I'm going to go get that right now. Acts 14, verse 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So it says right here, we're going to have to go through much tribulation before Yahweh Shai returns and redeems us, so that we can enter into the kingdom. And I'll go down to Matthew 10, verse 34. This is Yahweh Shai speaking, red letter. Think not that I come to send peace on the earth. On earth, I came not to send peace, but a sword. So people think that the Messiah is going to come back, be on some peaceful timing. No, Yahweh Shai is coming back to have his revenge. If you're not the elect, basically you're a dead man walking. So that's why we're fighting so hard to be of that number. Lord willingly, us that are in the shoot and, doing this work, pushing the shoot, believing the shoot, we be of that number, so we have that protection from Yahweh Bashem El Shai when that day comes. This is Isaiah 63, starting at verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that shredded in the wine fat. So this is speaking about Yahweh Shai, the first two verses. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking in the third verse And continuing, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will shred them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I'll stain all my remnant. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, in my fury it upheld me. And I will shred down the people in my anger, and make them drunk in my fury. I will bring down their strength to the earth. So Yahushua is telling us that he's going to come with destruction and come with revenge upon the heathen and the 2/3 of our people that don't repent. He's going to come with a lot of bloodshed. No, so much blood that will stain his garment. No, he's not going to stain his garment. It's just a parable, but he's telling you that how much destruction he's going to bring to the earth. Like, he's not coming to play around. He's coming to kill. He's coming to kill and take revenge upon the world that are not the elect of Israel. Isaiah 66, verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many. So Yahweh is going to send his son Yahushua to take revenge upon the heathen and the 2/3 of our people. It's coming with the chariots, the 20,000s, thousands of chariots. Come with the fathership. It's come with the hosts of heaven, all the army of heaven, to take revenge upon the heathen and the 2/3 upon the earth. And so many on that day will die and not make it. This is 2 Esdras 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So Yahweh B'Shem Shai, allowed the people of the earth to be in their sin so that their pride build up. So when the day of the Lord hits, that the people on the earth, their pride, them being on their hide horse, is going to get knocked down all the way. The people on the earth are going to get humbled all the way to the ground, shit, even below the ground, because that's how much ass kicking Yahweh B'Shem Shai is going to do on his return, in Jacob's trouble, and then the return when Yahweh Shai returns at the end of Jacob's trouble. These people are pride, their pride is going to vanish like in a snap. Luke 19, verse 27. This is red letter. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. So when Yahweh Shai comes back to rule on the earth and set up order, any Israelite that doesn't want Yahweh Shai to rule over them, we're going to bring them before Yahweh Shai and slay them in front of Yahweh Shai. And then the Israelite that we slayed in front of Yahweh Shai, they'll reincarnate back through the seed line, through the seed of the elect, through the loins of the elect, and they'll come back in their right mind in the kingdom. And then they'll know Yahweh B'Shem Shai and worship them. And with that, I want to say, call Allah, all glory, honor, and praises due to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem Kakadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Lord willingly, I pray that was an edifying lesson. And with that, I want to say Shalom.